let me close this modern, otherwise you never know, it will make noise. All right, sorry. Okay. Have to use it? Yeah. I'm a teacher. So I like, talking in small groups, each other, front of each other. Welcome to Bangladesh. Bangladesh, we must have seen a lot of traffic. That's a sign of our development. The country is doing well. As a result, we have plenty of traffic. But we are trying to help ease the traffic situation. Maybe next year, there'll be a little improvement. So if you like to see more traffic and crowd, Bangladesh is a good place. The beauty in Bangladesh is, you may visit, say, France, but there you have to pay plenty. But here in Bangladesh, if you visit, you are a visitor. With very little amount of money, somebody can dance for you, sing for you. That's great. But that, of course, in their organized program, you may not enjoy it. You go to the street and see some guy is there, you give him $1 and he will sing for you. So if you would like to enjoy, a tourist, what should I say, these unique things, Bangladesh is the best place. But you have to move around on your own to get those things. Bangladesh is a very interesting country. We have 165 million people. In a 165 million people, very small land. In terms of geography, we are very small. Just to let you know, in USA, state of Wisconsin, and Bangladesh, in terms of geography, is same. Wisconsin has 5 million. We have 165 million. So you can easily understand the enormity of problems. But we are doing pretty well. When we got our independence on the 16th December 1971, it's coming tomorrow. You see, at the time, we were a very poor country, totally devastated. Our history is initially the whole Indian subcontinent, one subcontinent. And Bengal, the current Bangladesh, we are very rich at the time. We were the granary of the world. We used to supply, food to the whole of India, and also used to supply elephant, to the warriors of whole of in India and beyond. But in the process, since it was a rich country, rich in culture, rich in plenitudes, so people from other parts of the world started coming in Bengal. The Mongolians came and captured, the Hun came and captured, the Arabs came for trading and lived there for years. Many of our descendants are Arabs. Then the Persian came and occupied it. And the Central Asian came, occupied it. And they ruled the whole of India over 500 years. The Mughal Empire was the mightiest empire. They ruled the whole of India, including Bengal. But they have a small, the princely states even in Bengal. At times, they demanded independence. So that's the history of India. But Bengal was very rich. Then the British came. On those days, there was no passport, no visa. You just come and land. And the land was very fertile. So you get a little piece of land and you build your house, and you are Bengali. The last one who came is the British. And they came as a trader. Then they occupied the country. In 1757, they occupied whole of Bengal and created the British Raj. It's one East India Company that came as a trader, and then they occupied it. They ruled till 1947, 200 years. And during that time, the Bengal started becoming poorer and poorer because the British took most of our resources. Then in the 1760s and early 1770s, there was a movement in Bengal against the British. Again and again, the Bengalis, little warlords, started fighting against the British. At the same time, there are the colonists in United States of America, the Caribbean, Canada. They also started fighting against the British. So British has to run two wars, one in the west, in USA, another is in the east. So they are under difficulty. They didn't have much money to run two wars. So their Prime Minister, William Pitt, he decided that what to do. So at the time, government increased some taxes. We used to send tea from Bengal via England to USA. On those days, tea was a big beverage, the only beverage. And they put a tax on it, known as Townshend's tax. The Americans revolted against it. They said, no taxation without representation. And they dump all the tea chest, tea, into the Bay of Massachusetts, known as Boston Tea Party. But then finally they decided, they did a lot of calculation. The British did a lot of calculation that came up that if they retain Bengal and India, they would get more money as revenue. On those days, UK used to receive only around 400,000 pounds sterling from Caribbean, from USA, from Canada. While they used to get around 400 million from Bengal. So they decided they will keep Bengal and let the Americans, the Canadians, and the Caribbeans let go. So in 1776, the William Pitt Jr., the Prime Minister, he declared that he will allow the independence of the United States of America. So United States of America independence due to the sacrifice of Bengal. And the Americans honored and recognized Mr. William Pitt by naming one of the largest cities on those days, it is the coal-based industrial city, Pittsburgh. So they named it as Pittsburgh. So that's a long history. After 200 years, in 1971, when the Bengalis were fighting to have their independence, as independence to uphold democracy, human rights and justice, at the time the American individuals supported us, not the government of Henry Kissinger, Nixon and Kissinger opposed it, but general public supported Bangladesh independence movement. So it's an old history. In 1947, British quit India. But at the time, the whole of subcontinent was divided into two countries. One was known as India, the other is Pakistan. Pakistan is based on Muslim majority areas. Pakistan had two components. One is West Pakistan, another is East Pakistan, separated by almost 1,000 miles from each. And that was in 1947. East Pakistan lived with Pakistan for almost 24 years, 47 to 1971, we lived together. But our marriage was not very happy. We have difficulties because the Pakistani, the government was exploiting then East Pakistan. East Pakistan, as I said, was a granary, and also we used to export one particular fiber known as jute. And on those days there was a Korean War, and as a result there was a lot of demand of it. So we made a lot of money by exporting, but all money were invested in Pakistan, in West Pakistan. So there was extreme economic disparity, and therefore people of East Pakistan didn't like it. And they demanded that they should have autonomy. But the Pakistani government ignored the demand. The first assault came on Bangladesh, East Pakistan, in 1948, immediately after independence. Immediately after independence, the East Pakistanis demanded that their native language, Bengali, the Bangla should be one of the state languages of Pakistan. They demanded the two languages, one is Urdu, which is mostly spoken only in West Pakistan, and Bangla, which is the native language. On those days, 56% population of Pakistan was from East Pakistan. So they said, since it's a majority language, so it should be one of the state languages. The Pakistani government ignored it. They said, no, Urdu would be the only lingua franca of Pakistan, only language of Pakistan. So there was agitation, demonstration, and so the Pakistani government, killed, shoot East Pakistanis. Few people died. This is the only example in the world where people had to sacrifice blood to protect their native language. Very interesting. So eventually the government was overthrown through a ballot, 1954. And then, of course, Bengali was recognized as one of the state languages of Pakistan. But the subjugation continued. So in 1971, our leader, the father of the nation, he has started the movement long time ago. And he was in the jail and again. His name was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. When he was a young man, he was a student of Dhaka University, you will visit it. He supported the cause of fourth class employees, the poorer people, for their wage and daily wage and all those. So he was jailed, and he was, the order was that he can never enter the university. And he was rusticated, we used to call him. So he was kicked out of the university. And after almost 25 years, when he became president, prime minister, they invited him to visit the campus. But that Sheikh Mujibur Rahman started the movement to end discrimination, disparity, both economic, political, social disparity, language disparity. And people of then East Pakistan supported him overwhelmingly. And then he proposed one of his major agenda, 6-point program, in 1966. Then President of Pakistan, President General Ayub Khan, imprisoned him, and one tried to banish him, but they could not. While government of Pakistan was trying to put him under more pressure, he started gaining public support, and he became a unique leader for all the Bengalis. So he called for non-cooperation. 99% of the people of Bengal supported him. This is just to remind you, when Mahatma Gandhi called for non-cooperation against the British, only 2% people of India, supported Mahatma Gandhi. When Sheikh Mujib asked for non-cooperation, 99% people supported him. So such was his strength. In 1970, there was election, and it's a nationwide election, first nationwide election on the basis of adult franchise in Pakistan. In that election, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's party, Awami League, which is still running the country, that got overwhelming majority votes. Out of 306 in the parliament, the election held for 299. There was disaster in one place, so it was stopped. Out of 299 electoral votes, parliamentary seats, Sheikh Mujib's party alone got 167 MPs, members of parliament, plus another 36 his aligned groups. So 203, the electoral, a member of parliament was his party. So as per democracy, his party should form the government. There was a minority party known as Pakistan's People's Party, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And they got 81 members of parliament. But he claimed that he got majority in West Pakistan, so therefore he should have a share in the governance. So then there was a debate. Then there was the army government. They postponed the sitting of the parliament. And as a result, East Pakistanis, rank and files, started movement again and said, get out of Pakistan, quit Pakistan. That's the movement started. But Pakistan government then let loose some, genocide. They started killing people of East Pakistan randomly. On 25th March 1971, Pakistan Army let loose its forces. And on the first night, wee hours of 25th March, they killed thousands of people of this city, Dhaka, randomly. Particularly, they started killing all the students of Dhaka University because they used to do agitations, and also the East Pakistani police forces. And when they were doing, at the time, our leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, we call him Bongo Bandhu, friend of Bangladesh, friend of Bengal. This is the title public has given him, Bongo Bandhu, friend of Bengalis. So he declared independence of Bangladesh. But Pakistani government arrested him, took him to West Pakistan. But in his absence, his other followers, they continued the war. And war continued for 9 months, 10 days. And after 9 months, 10 days, the Indians helped us. 10 million of Bangladesh, including me, we had to take shelter in neighboring India out of fear of life. We had to leave our home. Around 1/3 of the population, at the time population was 75 million population in East Pakistan. 1/3 of the population were displaced from their homes. 10 million went to India, took shelter there. And India started helping us. So, and India provided training and also weapons. But at the time, the Western countries, particularly USA, was supporting Pakistan. The basic reason was USA was trying to develop good relationship with China. We call it ping-pong diplomacy. So Pakistan was the buyer media, was the beacon to develop good relationship of President Nixon with the Chinese. So the Americans Americans supported Pakistan, supplied weapons to Pakistani government. And Pakistani government let loose the genocide in Pakistan, in which 3 million people died. 3 million people died to get our independence. And over 200,000 women were dishonored by the Pakistani army. So, as the Pakistani army were killing East Pakistani, the Bengalis, the whole world, there was the whole world basically started supporting the cause of Bengalis. When they are being persecuted, and as a result, people all across the globe started supporting the cause of Bangladesh. Particularly Britain, for example, is only Western country. There is a lot of noise to let go East Pakistan. But anyway, this is the December month, is very important one. On the 3rd of December, the Pakistan government, attacked the few Indian airports and destroyed some of the Indian, fighters. So on the 4th of December, India's then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declared war against Pakistan. So this is the third war between India and Pakistan. So Indian governments declared, and we as Mukti Bahini, Mukti freedom fighters, the Bengali. So Indian government, Indian soldiers supported the freedom fighters of Bengal. So we created joint forces of India and Bangladesh. You see. So on the 16th of December, tomorrow, on that day we got victory. 93,000 well-trained Pakistani army surrendered to the joint forces of India and Bangladesh on 16th December. The race course, which is now Bangabandhu, you can go and visit that place where they surrendered. 93,000. Because there, the Army General, Lieutenant General Niazi, he found that otherwise he will be totally destroyed. So he surrendered. So this is how we got our independence. So we got our independence by shedding lot of blood, lot of sacrifice. And just before the country was about to be independent, the Pakistani army with some Bengali collaborators, Bangladeshi collaborators, in connivance with the collaborators, they killed on the 14th of December. 16th December we got independence. On 16th of December, they killed large number of intellectuals of Bangladesh in order to see that even if the country gets independent, they must not survive. So a large number of intellectuals, and they were taken out of their homes and were killed, and mercilessly. Yesterday we observed, we call it Genocide Day, Ganahattya Divas. So yesterday we observed that. Buddhijivi, Intellectuals Killing Day, that's what we call it, and we observe it. So December is very significant for us. And tomorrow we'll be observing our Victory Day, Vijay Divas. You will be attending some events, but the best thing when public goes in a big, out of emotion, you visit those, then you can feel the emotion of it. So that's